Hey folks, it's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also the channel that was created by a retail investor for retail investors and home to the best MJ community. Today's Friday. Happy Friday. It's a brand new month, November 1st. Hope you're doing well. And in this video, we got some great news. Everybody's super pumped that rescheduling has been delayed again. Just kidding. It's not April Fool's. Unfortunately, it is what it is, though. I don't think it's that bad. I made a post on X about this. We'll discuss all of this and more. It's only going to be potentially delayed until January or February. It might even get delayed again. So we have to be, kind of prepared for all scenarios. But I'll go over my thoughts and opinions, and we'll kind of shift this to a more positive light, right? There's a lot of, frustration in the sector. There's a lot of just investor fatigue, and rightly so. It's been 4 brutal years of a bear market since, we really had any real momentum, sustained momentum in the sector. So as I've been saying for a while now, I really think it is this simple. I think we're going to have to wait for big tech, crypto, AI to finish its bull cycle. And it's looking like, I've been saying this for the last few months now, that it's looking like crypto and big tech's probably going to top out at some point between now and, kind of March, April. And that's exactly when MJ is starting to gain some momentum with regards to reform and whatnot, which, in my opinion, this is all part of the plan. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like. If you're new, you can subscribe. Tick the bell. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. You can follow us over on X as well. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And Elon Musk announced that they're going to be creating a competitor to YouTube that's going to rival the compensation that creators get. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the American Everything app. So here was the article that came out late yesterday. DEA MJ rescheduling hearing delayed until 2025. Agency judge rules. So a lot of people were speculating that there was news the other day whenever we said a pretty big market sell-off in the sector, actually. And then the broader market started to be weak yesterday. And then we had some jitters from some of the earnings. Today, we had Apple and Amazon yesterday, so SPY was up a little bit pre-market, but we'll see if that can kind of soften the blow a little bit. But yeah, the sector was down, so a lot of people were speculating that insiders knew this was coming, and they were going to take advantage of it. But keep in mind that since we already did pull back quite a bit and give back most of these recent moves on a lot of MJ, we might not see that much downside, right? Like I said, it was probably people who market makers already knew that it was coming, based on good old good old fashioned insider trading, right? If we did that, we'd be in jail for years. And these hedge funds, these people that control the media, they apparently can do it. Even people in Congress, right, can do insider trading, and it's totally fine. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars on a couple $100,000 a year salary. Makes total sense, right? So here's what I posted on X. I said it's actually not that bad, folks. It's a perfect time to rotate crypto profits into more beaten down MJ. And as I've been saying on the channel for a while now, I'm not trying to gloat or say, I told you so or anything like that. I'm just saying you got to be real with it, right? MJ's been in a 4-year bear market. And if you really want to, kind of pick apart the puzzle here, we've actually been in a bear market in the sector since 2018. We actually haven't seen the whole sector hit new all-time highs since 2018. Back then, you could have threw a dart and you're just popping off one by one. You would have been a winner, right? Whereas now, we just haven't seen that. We had a select few names in February 2021. We had 52-week highs. That was great, all fine and dandy. But we never saw the actual sector see brand new all-time highs and blue sky breakout across the sector. So really, it's been since 2008. So it's been a very, very long time. But this is what happens with new emerging markets and disruptive industries, right? Especially industries that are illegal at the federal level. It takes time. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, especially when you're dealing with an illegal drug in the U.S. at the federal level, right? It's going to take time. And even after they reschedule it, even after they legalize it, it's going to be multiple years before the blue chip market phase happens, right? So we have to just, kind of get our timelines in check, right? Again, we want MJ to go to the moon tomorrow, right? And, there's probably a lot of people here that if MJ, went up another 500 to 1,000%, they'd probably sell. But, I've got a long-term account and a short-term account, and my long-term, I'm not selling until the hype from the U.S. legalization run-up, similar to what happened in Canada in 2018. And similar to what happened in Canada in 2018 was MJ's bull run went on the biggest bull run ever after crypto topped out in 2017, 2018. After 2017, 2018, when crypto topped out, MJ went on the biggest bull run ever. And I think something similar is shaping up here. So again, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think this is that big of a deal. They're still going to have an initial hearing that's going to take place on December 2nd, and the potential availability for a formal hearing in January or February 2025. So like I said, this is really like, it just makes you think, like, is the whole world a stage? And it really does look that way, because it's looking like, they're wanting to push this off just after the broader market, big tech, AI, crypto tops out, and it's looking like that's probably going to happen. We could see another FOMC rate decision this month. I think they're going to cut either, the consensus is 25 basis points, but they might do another 50. And that would be very bullish for risk on assets. So, that's something that could fuel the market. We have the elections coming up in just a few days. And once we get rid of that uncertainty, we know who is going to be in office for the next 4 years. We know who has control of the Senate, the House. Then I think we're going to continue to trend up. We also have a monthly bull flag on SPY that's targeting 620. So we have a lot more upside. I think we have a room for one more potential leg up and euphoric blow off top. And then if you haven't seen my video, how would MJ hold up if the stock market crashed? You can check that out. But it would more than likely dip very quickly with a broader market crash, but then recover quickly and go on to become one of, if not the best performing sectors. And I think biotech, psychedelics, that type of thing will be the play in 2025. Once, there's no longer buy the dip on big tech, it'll be, short big tech, and, the trade will shift, right? It'll be the opposite. And then people will be looking at MJ. It'll be no longer short MJ, it'll be long MJ, right? Because a lot of the same people, demographic, trade crypto and versus the same demographic that trades MJ. So why would they want to run them both simultaneously? It did very slightly in 2021, but we just didn't have a sustained rally. And the best thing that we can compare it to, like I said, is the legalization run up in Canada. The same thing happened. MJ went on the biggest bull run ever after we had major reform in Canada. So we'll see if something similar plays out over the next couple of years here as we see major reform in the US, and we could see safe banking as a potential lame duck initiative, and change of administration. You never know, could happen then as well. We could see uplisting, all of these things to look forward to, excise tax improvement in Canada, Germany, rest of the EU, all over the world, right? So it's only going to happen once. And I just want to remind everybody, let's just level set here and get grounded back in reality. Remember this article, Green Market reported that long road ahead for U.S. MJ rescheduling. And remember my interview with Morgan Fox, political director at Normal. He said this could take multiple years. And then this article, it used to say 7 years, and then they changed it to say some time. But if you add up all of these points here, 1 through 6, it's about 5 to 7 years. So let's just quickly add up. So if we add to where we are now, this administrative hearing, right? If we add 90, the worst case scenario, 90, and then it's a few months to over a year. So we'll just be somewhat conservative here. 90 plus 90 plus a year, right? That's basically a year and a half. So we just had the DEA come out at the end of April, right? So this article is dated in May. And if we have the hearing in January or February, even if it gets delayed until May, that's only 1 year. We're still half a year ahead of schedule. So I think people need to just chill. And, even if it gets rescheduled, even if, we get some sort of major catalyst, it's still going to take multiple months, if not years, for these MJ stocks to start getting back up toward their all-time highs, right? So it's going to take time. And then I wanted to bring up the list. This is MJ Biz Daily put this out just before, earlier yesterday, before this bombshell hit and spooked everybody on Spooky Day. And hope you had a great Halloween. My daughter and I and my partner went out last night. She was a bumblebee. She's absolutely adorable. But had a great time. I hope you had a great Halloween. But yeah, they announced this. Everything was going, pretty good. 25 participants for the rescheduling hearing. And then they announced those. And then shortly after, we got this one, right on October 31st. So perfect timing to, piss everybody off. But yeah, here's all the participants. So the only real noticeable one that I noticed was Village Farms. And it is on the list. There it is, right on the first one. There we go. So yeah, Village Farms International. That was the major one. But I wanted to bring up this MJ article here from Business of MJ. Rescheduling hearing delayed until next year. And then if you scroll down, the list of 25 participants selected, published yesterday by MJ Biz, appears to marginally favor anti-MJ groups, with leading opponents of the reform, including smart approaches to MJ, so SAM, and the Community Anti-Drug Coalitions of America set to appear. Isn't it weird that, what it was at, like 90% were in favor? like a crazy amount of people were in favor of rescheduling, and a lot of people wanted to deschedule it. I think it was like 70. What was it? Like 70% were in favor of descheduling, 90% were in favor of rescheduling, or maybe it was like, I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. But the overwhelming majority want it to be rescheduled. And in that comment period, record comments, 43,000, north of 43,000 comments, the most ever, by a single, substance being potentially rescheduled or descheduled. This process, it tells you that there's overwhelming support for it. And a lot of people said that they want it descheduled, that rescheduling wasn't enough. And then here they are getting, as many anti-MJ groups as possible. It's just very odd. It's probably just optics and just to make it look bad, but it's actually progressing quite nicely. I would say that's more than likely the case, but maybe they just figure that, if we get all these pro MJ people in here, it's just going to be, of course, they're going to be, giving all of these reasons why, because it's a profit behind it. Whereas some of these, kind of anti groups, I guess they're not really in it for a commercial profit. So I don't know, maybe a mix of that. Curious to hear what you think of that in the comment section below. But I do want to switch this over to think about this as well, is change your mindset. We have in Canada a thing called a TFSA, a tax-free savings account. So in Canada, one benefit to this rescheduling delay, again, is the fact that we can add to our TFSA. So come January 1st, if you're like me and you max out your TFSA, your tax-free savings account, which means any money that you put into that account is subject to no tax, right? So no matter how much you have in that account in terms of gains, it's all tax-free when you take it out. An RRSP, which is a registered retirement savings plan, it's tax-free while it's in the plan, but when you take it out, you get taxed, right, at whatever bracket. So the idea is when you're done working, you take it out of your RSP and then you have a lower income, right, because you're not working. But with the TFSA, there is no tax. So on January 1st, we should have, I think it is another 7,000 in Canada. So that means we'll be able to take advantage of these low prices on MJ and add to our TFSA. And I've maxed out my TFSA. So I'm just waiting for January 1st, 2025. I'll get another 7,000 and I'll be able to load up on more beaten down MJ. And then I'll be able to take my crypto profits, which I've been planning on doing and have been doing for the last couple of years, and just rotating those profits into more beaten down MJ. And I do think that we're going to see, Bitcoin at somewhere around north of $100,000, somewhere around that $100,000 mark, potentially north of it in the next month or two. And then we could even see crypto legislation. And then after crypto legislation, we'll probably see MJ legislation in the US, right? But we'll probably get some sort of stablecoin crypto legislation in the US, before the end of the year, if not potentially in a lame duck session or, sometime in 2025 with a new admin. And then MJ legislation will be at the forefront after that. And I do think alt season will occur at some point, between now and the end of the year after Bitcoin's big run to 100K. And then after it corrects, we'll see alt season, and that should wrap up sometime, I think, in the first quarter of 2025. And what do we know about the first quarter of 2025? That's exactly when they're rescheduling, doing the rescheduling hearing. So it's just funny how all of this stuff is lining up. And this is exactly what I've been saying for this video was over a year ago. And I said, MJ bull run will start after alt season. And that's still looking to be the case. It's a lot, again, time wasn't of the relevance there. It wasn't about time. Maybe I mentioned a time frame in that video, but at the end of the day, the thesis is still true. MJ should run after crypto runs. And if we take a look at MSOS, as I expected, not much downside. We're only down a penny from where we closed yesterday. Like I said, there was quite a bit of a sell-off here over the last week or so, right? MSOS down almost 20%, gave that whole move back. So, like I said, a lot of insiders likely do because they're good at insider trading. And us retail, we get jailed for years if we do that, and we're just not allowed to do it. So, and we're not privy to the information that they have. So it's a rigged game, and that's why I just buy and hold. I'm diversified. I own more crypto dollar-wise than I do MJ. My largest crypto holding is bigger dollar-wise than my entire MJ portfolio dollar-wise right now. So keep that in mind, right? Like you have to be diversified. You have not just one MJ stock across the sector, across multiple sectors. Keep cash on the sidelines and just be patient, right? This is only ever going to happen once. If we were in the dot-com days investing in big tech, it would have took decades to see multiple, generational wealth gains, right? And at the end of the day, they weren't selling federally illegal drugs in the U.S., right? So if we're selling drugs that in the U.S. that are illegal at the federal level, it's gonna take time, right? But as of right now, it's still looking like I've been saying on the chart. It's still looking like it's at least a few months before we see any real momentum on MJ. A lot of names are starting to see their monthly EMA 12, EMA 12 and 26 bull crosses. Look at High Tide; it's very close to seeing its monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. GTBIF is another name that's very close to seeing its monthly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. But look at MSOS, the ETF that tracks it. It's still pretty far away before we see the longer term, the shorter term, the EMA 12 and the EMA 26, the longer term cross. That'll be a bull cross. That'll be first in history too, by the way. But yeah, a lot of names still haven't seen it yet. SNDL getting close. Tilray not too bad. Kind of same as MSOS actually. HMMJ ETF getting close. But like I said, it's at least a few months. So I would say, probably March, April is where we should start to see these get very, very close from crossing and could even actually cross. And once they cross, generally the price is a lot higher because they're lagging indicators. But when they cross, we usually can still see a lot more upside after that. So there's something to look forward to. And that, in my opinion, is the fact that we're very close to the end of this bear market and starting a new multi-year bull market. Doesn't mean there won't be pullbacks along the way. But again, I've been saying this for many, many months now, and actually a year, because that video is over a year ago, that MJ will see a sustained bull run and bull market only after we see, alt season, crypto top out, big tech, AI. And it's so funny to me that all of these things keep getting aligned perfectly, right? They keep delaying MJ. They held a hearing, then they delayed the hearing, and then MJ. A lot of people thought crypto was going to pop off earlier than it did, and there was a bunch of lawsuits, and there was a bunch of insolvencies and scandals like the FTXs of the world. So I think it's just the powers that be that are the puppet masters pulling the puppet strings, if you will, just kind of trying to kick the can down the road a little bit longer to see those, like I said, to see the crypto the gains that we're going to see from crypto, and then rotate those into MJ. Because if I'm thinking that, tons of people are thinking that, right? So, all right, going in it there, it's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. But keep your chin up. It's Friday, and it's not going to be that much longer. I think we just have to be patient. We've been patient for this long. What's, another even year or two or 3 or 4, right? Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, this is generational wealth. If we just hold, data shows that if you just buy and hold, right, getting in and out of positions is very stressful. And the fact of the matter is not very many people are good at it. So if you're of the 1% that can day trade and get in and out of positions profitably, well, guess what? That's just about the same amount of people that make it to the NHL, right? Not everybody can be in the NHL. So personally, I think it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. It's actually not that bad. We just have to be a little bit more patient. So the stock market, as Warren Buffett says, is a mechanism from transferring wealth from the impatient to the patient. And the people with money, the hedge funds, the Wall Street banks, those are the ones with the most patience because they know how the markets work and they have the money to weather the storm. All right. Hope you have a great weekend ahead. It's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll see you again on the next video.